All right, today we're going to do a little introduction on sketching. Sketching is the basis for all of your designs. This is where we're going to create two-dimensional geometry on a plane or on the face of an existing object, an existing design, 3D object. Um, we will add dimensions to our geometry, which will later turn into, when a feature is applied, turn into some type of 3D shape. So how do we start sketching? You look at my screen up here. I've got a blank canvas in front of me. And I've got my view cube up here. I'm going up to the top left. And if you see where I hover, I'm going to create a sketch. Click. Now it brings up, since I don't have any designs on the page, any existing designs, I have the three planes available to me to sketch on. Now you're going to kind of orient yourself to have a plan in place. What is my design going to be? In this case, let's say we're doing a Lego, which is we'll spend a lot of time on later in class. We're going to start that by looking down on it from the top. So we're going to go with the top-bottom view. So this is the top-bottom view. If you'll notice, up here in the view cube, my mouse moved up to the right-hand corner. The blue line is the z-axis. X is red. Y should be pointed up, which is the green axis. If yours isn't oriented just like mine, you'll need to go into your preferences and change your preferences so that Y is up. All right, so the top bottom is going to be the XZ plane. Okay, so if I click on the plane to select it, notice how my screen reorients itself. Look at my view cube up here. It's showing me the top, so I'm looking down from the top. You can always, I'm going to undo, create sketch. If you're not sure which one you want to pick your view cube. Say, for example, you wanted to do the front back plane. Okay, or the right left, let's do the front back. Click on the front back. So it orients to the front. Notice, I just have one plane now showing for me. I click on it. I'm now sketching on the front plane. Okay. All right, let's go back, create sketch, go back to my home view. I'm going to close the canvas. Fusion has a few quirks in it. It's a little fussy when you click on one of the views in view cube and try and go back. It doesn't work particularly well. All right, let's go create sketch. Now I've got all three views. Let's go to the top bottom plane. Okay, so now I've got my sketch palette up in front of me. Okay, and I have my options in there. We'll get more into those options more throughout class. And to do a Lego brick, what's going to be my base shape? It's going to be a rectangle, right? Okay, so I'm going to go, I could choose my 2-point rectangle, or I can go these items up here in the create menu. These are shortcuts, okay? So this is a sketch dimension shortcut, your mirror, the spline tool, center diameter circle, the 2-point rectangle, and the line tool. We'll go through each one of these tools in class. Notice center diameter circle, 2-point rectangle. There are multiple types of rectangles or circles that you can use. You have to think about what's going to be the best for your particular design. I'm going to go to rectangle, and I'm going to use a center rectangle, okay? And I'm going to center, the center rectangle you start drawing from the center point. So this will be the center point of my rectangle. Sketches should always start at the origin, this middle block where the two axes meet. So I'm going to the origin, click, and I start to drag out. Now, I want the length to be 31.8 millimeters. So I'm typing that in, all right? I hit the Tab key, and it takes me to my width. I'll make that 15.8 millimeters and hit Enter. Okay, so I have a rectangle in place. These dotted lines are construction lines. They run from corner to corner, and they are just simply there in a center rectangle. To that crossing point is the center point of your rectangle. Okay, so I've created, I'm going to go back to the home view so you can see it. I've created two-dimensional geometry here in the shape of a rectangle. That's all I have to do for this particular sketch to start off my design. Most designs will have multiple sketches, and more often than not, they'll be on different planes. Okay, I'll give you an example of that. This section is probably going to be broken into two videos, and that'll be in one of the next video. All right, so, but in this particular step, I'm done sketching. And I want to go ahead and add a feature to it, depth, and extrude it, give it some height. So to do that, I have to finish my sketch. Click it, finish sketch. Notice I have a sketch down here in my timeline. If I ever wanted to go back and edit, I can right click on the sketch in my timeline, edit sketch, and it opens back up for me. I could double click here, change my dimension. There's my dimension changed. I'll go back, put it back to 15.8. Notice it's in millimeters. Your document settings, there's the default value as millimeters. If I wanted to change that, I normally would do that at the beginning of my design, but I could click on that and change it from millimeters to something else. You see my options there. Cancel. And I've made my adjustments. I'm going to finish sketch. All right, so I'm done with the sketch, and I want to add now a 3D feature. I'm going to extrude this shape. So click on extrude. I could go create, extrude. Here are a bunch of options I have. I'm going to select my shape, and I'm going to extrude it 9.8 millimeters. Click OK. And there's the basis for Lego brick. Now, as I said in the very beginning, your sketches can be done on a plane or on the face of an existing feature. In this particular case, I'm going to start my second sketch. Notice down in my timeline, I have my first sketch here. Now I have the extrude. This is a mapping, and it tells everything that you've done in the design process. It's also where you can go edit anything you've done already in the design process. But now I want to create a new sketch. I'm not going to select a plane. I want this top face. Now, don't click on the top face where the plane happens to be located, because it's going to default to the plane, not to the face. I want to create a sketch on this face up here. So I'm going to click on the top face. All right. And it orients the top to where I can start my sketch. In this particular case, I'm going to draw a center diameter circle on the top. So there's my center diameter circle shortcut. I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to come down here, just in this area, and I'm going to make a 5 millimeter diameter circle. There it is. All right, now this needs to be positioned from the center point. It needs to be 3.9 millimeters from the left edge and it needs to be 3.9 millimeters from the top edge. I'm going to take my sketch dimension tool, click on it, click on the center point of my circle, click on the top edge. I'm going to drag it out, and of all the dumb luck, it's already 3.9 millimeters. So I'm going to go 3.9, just type it in, and I have that position 3.9 millimeters from the top. I've done this too many times. I put it right where it belonged. Okay, I've still got my sketch dimension tool open. Click on the center point again. And now to the left edge, drag it up. Now I didn't get that one right. This one's 2.9 versus 3.9. So I'm going to click, make it 3.9 millimeters, and hit enter. Notice how my circle moved. Okay. All right. That's all I want to do in this sketch. Finish sketch. Now, you'll see my timeline has added another sketch, and I see this sketch on the top face of my design. I want to extrude this circle now. So I'm going to hit my extrude tool. Notice the first time it came up, it knew exactly what I wanted to extrude, so it highlighted the box for me. Now I have multiple options, so it doesn't do that. So I'm going to select my circle. There we go. And I'm going to extrude it 1.8 millimeters. And there we have one of the top connectors drawn and extruded on the top of what would be our Lego brick. All right, so you're seeing in the timeline, we have a sketch, an extrude, another sketch, another extrude, okay? So we've created our geometry in a two-dimensional format. We've applied a feature to it to create a three-dimensional object. Okay, we've done multiple things, which gives us some type of design. All right, I'm going to end this video here, and we'll pick up on our intro to sketching 2.